Some crimes never sleep, some wounds never heal. These are the cases that didn't just go cold, they froze time, and they still whisper through the cracks of history. Welcome to Chill Memoirs, where history's unsolved riddles and chilling crimes echo louder than ever. If you love stories that leave you breathless, hit that like button and subscribe, because today's journey is going to disturb your peace. There's something haunting about mysteries that never close, victims forgotten by the system, suspects who vanished like ghosts, and families left with only questions and grief. Disclaimer: this video is for educational and informational purposes only, based on publicly available news and media reports. Please subscribe, like and share this video to help spread awareness and caution. No endorsement of murder or brutality is intended. Today, we're diving into modern history's darkest puzzles, crimes that shook nations, rewrote laws, and remain unsolved. Not every crime captures the public's imagination, but some. They crawl under our skin. Maybe it's the lack of motive, maybe it's the brutality, or maybe it's that we still don't know who did it. These cases don't fade. They linger, like a song you can't unhear, or a shadow that never quite disappears. The Zodiac Killer, Cipher of Fear. The Zodiac Killer didn't just strike fear, he authored it. Between 1968 and 1969, Northern California was paralyzed by panic. Young couples were murdered in lovers' lanes. A cab driver shot in cold blood. Then came the letters, handwritten manifestos mailed to newspapers, demanding publication or more would die. They were filled with chilling ciphers, cryptic threats, and twisted symbols. Some codes were cracked by amateur sleuths, others, still a mystery. The Zodiac claimed responsibility for 37 murders, but police only confirmed 5. Was he exaggerating, or hiding more bodies beneath decades of silence? Theories swirled for years: a bitter schoolteacher, a failed novelist, a mentally ill veteran. Some suspects were compelling, even convincing, but evidence never stuck and DNA never sang. He once wrote, "I am waiting for a good movie about me." He may have gotten it, but he earned something far more chilling: immortality through infamy. And unlike most killers who vanish from memory with time, the Zodiac carved himself into American folklore, a cryptic ghost, haunting every whisper of unsolved horror. Hollywood adapted, authors speculated, YouTubers dissected, but still, the mystery lives on. With every online sleuth digging through archived reports, every Reddit theory posted in midnight forums, his shadow stretches further. He knew how to create terror, but more importantly, he knew how to last. The Black Dahlia, Hollywood's darkest role. January 15, 1947. Los Angeles. A young actress is found mutilated, her body posed with eerie care. The media called her the Black Dahlia. The police called it the most gruesome murder they'd ever seen. No arrests, no justice, just theories and silence. Elizabeth Short wasn't just a victim. She became an icon of mystery. A starlet without a stage, caught in a city that devours its dreamers. Her face was on every newspaper, her name whispered in every diner. The gruesome precision of her injuries suggested a medical background: a surgeon, a mortician. The LAPD interviewed hundreds. They followed dead ends. A suspect would emerge, only to disappear beneath layers of contradiction and red tape. Hollywood couldn't resist. Dozens of films, novels, and conspiracy theories romanticized her death while forgetting her life. But beneath the myth was a real young woman, hopeful, ambitious, and tragically lost. And maybe that's why it endures, because we're not just haunted by how she died, but by how easily we let her story become a symbol instead of a solved case. Today, the Black Dahlia remains a mirror, not just of one man's violence, but of a culture's obsession with beautiful tragedies. JonBenét Ramsey, a pageant queen, a public mystery. 1996, Boulder, Colorado. Christmas night fades into horror. 6-year-old JonBenét Ramsey, a child beauty queen, vanishes from her own home. 8 hours later, her lifeless body is discovered in the basement. bound, gagged, a crude ransom note found upstairs, filled with strange phrases, movie quotes, and demands for $118,000. The exact amount of her father's Christmas bonus. Suspicion swirled immediately. First, the parents, then the brother, then strangers, drifters, ex-employees. No signs of forced entry. Was it a staged crime scene or a panicked cover-up? Forensics were botched, evidence contaminated. The case played out not in court, but in the media, day after day. The Ramseys appeared on television pleading innocence, while the tabloids painted them guilty. Years passed, DNA advances emerged. A touch DNA sample excluded the family, or so it seemed. But doubts remained. The internet became a courtroom. True crime fans became jurors, and theories multiplied like wildfire. JonBenét wasn't just a child victim. She became America's obsession. A face frozen in tiaras and satin, hiding a truth no one could untangle. Today, her room remains untouched, a shrine to a case that refuses to close. Was it a family tragedy, a killer on the loose, or a nation projecting its worst fears onto a little girl who never got to grow up? The Sodder Children vanished in smoke, trapped in silence. Christmas Eve, 1945, Fayetteville, West Virginia. The Sodder family's home catches fire. Flames engulf it in minutes. George and Jenny Sodder escape with 4 of their children. But 5 others, Morris, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty, are never seen again. No bodies, no bones, no remains. The fire, officials claimed, had burned to hot, but science said otherwise. House fires don't incinerate bones. Telephone wires had been cut. A mysterious stranger had visited days before. A ladder usually kept against the house, missing. A witness later claimed to see the children, alive, peering out of a car window. Hours after the fire, the Sodders never gave up. They believed the children had been kidnapped, possibly by someone seeking revenge for George's outspoken political views. They posted a billboard along Route 16, a permanent cry for help. What was their fate? Were they kidnapped, murdered, or still alive? Decades passed, tips poured in. A woman in St. Louis, a bar patron in Texas, a photo mailed anonymously, but nothing ever confirmed, nothing ever closed. The house was gone, but the questions lingered. What happened to the Sodder children? Did they die in the fire, or vanish into a mystery engineered by human hands? Some say they were stolen. Others say the parents refused to grieve. But one truth remains. You can rebuild a home, but you can't rebuild the answers that never came. To this day, no one knows what happened to the Sodder children. Some believe it was a kidnapping. Others whisper about mafia involvement, but no charges were ever filed, and the family never stopped searching. The billboard with the children's faces stayed up. For 40 years, a question hangs heavy. If they died in that fire, where are the bodies? And if they didn't, who took them? They say time heals all wounds, but some wounds become scars, and some scars, they whisper. The Zodiac's taunts, the Dahlia's silence, the Sodder family's billboard, JonBenét's unanswered cry. These aren't just cold cases, they're the unfinished stories of our time. Puzzles with missing pieces, shadows that stretch across decades. And here's the haunting truth. Every unsolved case has 2 timelines, one where justice is served, and one where it never arrives. Which one will we choose to believe? If this episode chilled your spine and stirred your thoughts, drop a comment. Which case do you think will be solved in our lifetime? Subscribe for more intel on history's deepest mysteries. Catch our full investigations right here on Chill Memoirs. Because here, history isn't over, it's hiding.